Okay, so I want to talk about something else. Something that I've experienced. Because I'm realizing more and more that spirit's like, don't share unless you've experienced it. Because it's the experience that, like, sort of locks it into your memory. So, something about the water, right? There's something about the water. Uh, I've been experimenting a lot with, like, different foods and different liquids. And I realized something. The water. The water seems very thick for whatever reason. It's like my mom, right? She's like the main conduit. And I sip the water. She's like, if you want water, sip the water. Just sip it. Don't gulp it. Just sip it. Because there's something about the water. So I sip the water now because I overloaded a while back and I ended up throwing up. It's kind of hard to talk about, but I got to be honest about it. I sort of panicked in a moment. I drank water because I felt like there was something in my system that I didn't want. There was something that made me feel like static electricity, like I picture nuclear energy in my. That's what I picture when I eat something. I feel that intuitively, and it makes me very uncomfortable. So for whatever reason, okay, so I drank water. I drank too much water, so I ended up, it just happened. It came out of my system. And I felt really cold and like my temperature was off. And it was a very uncomfortable moment. My mom talked me through it. And then over time, I got more, I calmed down and I was able to sleep. It was a very strange moment for me. And that's why she kept telling me, sip the water. There's something about the water. Sip the water. And then over time, I'm realizing that I don't really want the water right now. I don't really know why, but that's what I'm doing intuitively. So there's something about the water, about just sipping the water, or it's almost like I don't know how to explain it. So I'm also learning something about physical activity. There is something about physical activity. When my mom passed away, I worked out a lot. Like that was, I cried a lot. And this was my second tour. This was my second tour. I would go outside. I would just be, it was cold outside too. It would be so cold, and I would just I would work it out. I'd listen to music, and I would just work out. I was doing like 1,000 push-ups. Like seriously, I was doing 1,000 push-ups a day, just during lunchtime. It was like just an hour, 1,000 push-ups, and I was doing like 2,000 sit-ups. And that was just during lunch. I mean, at night, I was working out as well. It was like the only way that I could not be totally drowning in tears. I mean, I'd still cry anyways, but it was like my saving grace was to just work it out. Just work it out. And she's been talking to me about how important that is, because it's like, she says it's like trusting your own system. It knows exactly what it needs to move whatever sorrow, negativity, whatever it is you're dealing with. And she said that's why you enjoyed running so much. That's why you were so active as a kid, because you feel so much. You feel so much about everything. I'm so sensitive, and I've always been so sensitive, and I can just feel that there is something about nature, that there's something about everything, and I feel that so powerfully, that when something happens in my own system, like my mom passing away, the only thing that I could think of doing was to work it out. And sorry, I'm getting all jazzed up right now. yeah, I just had to work it out. Like, after I just made the video I just made, it was like I felt really cold. I felt really cold, like I exhausted my own resources by talking, the vibrations. Um, and so I did like some push-ups and some sit-ups, and then I felt all energetic again. And then I decided to make another video. There's something about working out that helps the system deal with whatever it is that you are dealing with on the outside. It works it out on the inside. There's something about that, because it worked then. Why wouldn't it work now? It worked my whole life. You know what I mean? I think the only difference now between then and now is that now I realize why I did that. I did it intuitively, like I talked in my last video. You experience, and then you realize, I did it intuitively as a kid, didn't even think about it. And then I experienced a loss overseas, and I worked it out because I knew, and then I experienced. But now it's like I'm bringing all three together, because I now realize why I did that. It's like the crawl, walk, run phase or something like that, I now realize why. The realization, it's like that's like the key or something. That excites me so much. It's about being excited. There's something about exhausting your resources that makes you excited, because it's that drive, that passion to know that you gotta work through something to feel better. There's something about the chemicals in your brain that helps to move things around in a positive way. I move in a positive way by, working out my stomach, by doing push-ups, by running around outside like a crazy, wild, feral animal child. Like, there's something about going back to nature that just makes everything positive, because you don't worry. I'm so excited right now, because you don't worry about the worldly things. You feel settled in it, because it's all for a reason. We strive so much for perfection, but I think what we don't realize is that we're perfect already. We just have to trust our own system. It knows exactly what it needs, And if you feel like you need to do something, go do it. Try it out. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Try something else. But that's what worked for me, was the physical activity. That's what really works for me. I felt so drained after that last video. I was like, oh, I'm so cold. And the sun's out. So I went over to the sunlight. You can actually see it in the reflection there. And I felt warmer, but it was like maybe too much warmth or something. So then I was like, my mom was like, work it out. I could hear her saying, work it out. I'm like, roger that. So then I did like some push-ups, sit-ups, and I was like, bam, back to normal. And see, I feel myself getting colder again, because I'm releasing that through my vocal cords. It's like, those videos that you can see on YouTube, and they got like the different sounds. They're like different sounds that you can hear in other places around the world, like even here in the US. And it's like people go outside and they film it, and they're like, what is that sound? It sounds like something crazy, right? Yeah, it sounds like something crazy. But what I realize is that vibrations, they tone the water, because the system has a lot of water. The earth has a lot of water, right? So it's like certain vibrations. It excites the molecules in the water, and it tells it what to do. So like by being positive, sorry, I'm all excited. By being positive in your own system, by working it out, by being positive, by being happy, those happy chemicals, it works through your own system. I just gotta chill. It works through your own system so that these water molecules know what to do. It's almost like an open channel. You just gotta send the right vibrations through your system, through the system, and then the water molecules know what to do. It's really interesting. I haven't quite figured that part out yet, but I'm throwing it out there just in case somebody else might. Maybe somebody else knows something about that, because it is science. There's something about water, You know? Something about water. I think there's a study on that, actually. There's a study on the water. And, you know, we see that galactic, that galactic ordering dynamic, you know? The perfect order that is the base, you know, the base. We see that in crystalline structures. We see that. I need to work out more. We see that, you know, when it snows out. We see that every single snowflake is like amazing. If you just look at it, you know, you explode it out and you look at it and you're like, whoa, man, like this is so cool, right? And it's just one little snowflake and it's perfect. It's perfect. And all it did was move through the system, you know, it rains, it goes down into the ground, it comes back up, it gets cold, little, like, you know, it goes through the system, and it comes out perfect. Perfect. There's a huge truth in that, you know what I mean? There's something about trusting the system and knowing exactly what it is that you need to do that's right for your system and trusting that, and then it's perfect. It comes out absolutely beautiful. The thought, the positivity in your own thoughts literally tells the water what to do. It's always been there, though. You know, it's always been there. It's not like we don't need to prove anything. We don't need to fix anything. It's always been perfect. It's just the powerful positivity in the thought. Quite. Well, I don't even know what more to say at this point. Alright, so probably have more soon. Thanks for watching.